Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing 20,000.1k subscribers. If you haven't already had the man that created Yoga Pants smash that subscribe button, go ahead and have him smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the following patrons. Las Vegas Flights Live, go check them out. Shower Shark, Fuck Your Chest Pains, Priya These Nuts, Lockdown 5, Crystal Bon, La Reina, Hernan, Abuelita Irma, Winston, Armando, Alejandro, Trelero, 760, Grant, El Skid, Nathan, Hobie Cat, Lead With Love, Albert 12, AI Vega, Esquiel, Big Bad 48, JT, Nova, Jack, Linda, the retired CEO, Michigan Wolverines, Mikey 559, the homie Marius, Chevelle 66, Abuelita's Journey, Gigi, and Dallas Herrero. If you have not already signed up for that Patreon, what are you waiting for? It's like the Netflix of prison. Make sure you hit the link in the description below. You are definitely missing out. This episode right here, man. Hector, what can you tell me about sports and the California Department of Corrections, where you happen to do 16 years as an officer, a sergeant, and a lieutenant? Great. Good question. I'm glad you asked. Check it out, guys. Sports are freaking huge amongst inmates and staff. Like, if you want to develop a rapport, hey, that's right there, man. You know how many times I heard, hey, how about them Raiders? How about them Niners? How about them Chargers? How about them Cowboys? Like, even if you're not too into sports, you kind of know which teams are which. But they be knowing. They be placing wagers, bets, those little squares, gambling. And that just kind of goes hand to hand, man. They got to keep busy. You know, the inmates in blue, they got to do something. And sports are entertaining. Boxing matches, UFC fights. Not so much the UFC fights. And I'm going to tap into how being in Southern California, right on the border of Mexico, because I worked at Centinela State Prison and Donovan Correctional Facility, they're right on the border. I mean, you could probably throw a rock and hit the border. All right, maybe not that close, but pretty damn close. They were able to wire their TV with an antenna and tap into the Mexico channels, Tijuana or Mexicali, and be able to stream the boxing matches as they were debuting down there, like, or premiering. It might have been delayed or like, but nevertheless, you know, they're smart with it. They were able to rig up their state issued TV or purchase. They don't get state issued TVs, but their state TV, and be able to watch those fights, man. When I was a young cop, Bravo Yard, Centinela State Prison, level 3 GP. And I'm telling you, man, reflecting back and hearing some of the guys that were formerly incarcerated talk about that yard. Yeah, it was definitely with the business. It was an active fucking level 3 yard. My buddy worked Bravo 1. Bravo 1, as you come in through the gate, is the far building, farthest from the side gate. You know, you have friends. They're regulars in buildings or yards. They're the regular, meaning that they are there 5 days a week, 4 days a week, and they know all the inmates. They know the housing unit. They know the program. They're the regulars, as opposed to being like a covered relief guy, which I was kind of the covered relief guy a lot, bouncing around, right? Hey, what's up, everybody? Right? I can't be staying still. I got to be able to move. I like change. Well, I like change and I like consistency, but I like change. This was like a Sunday. Well, clearly it was a Sunday. So one thing, as if you're passing through as a non-regular CO, you're not going to fuck up somebody else's program, right? You're not going to go to their house and just start making changes, giving up the house, start giving away shit you shouldn't be giving away, like trash bags, supplies. Right, there's a day established for that. It's chemicals, but it varies, right? You ain't just going to go and give up the fucking house. Let that be a lesson to the youngsters. They don't even know where to start these days. So I knew I was going to work with my friend, right? Good homie, good solid dude. He reaches out to me constantly, man, and I thank him. I want to give him a shout out, but, you know, it'd be busy so much. You know, when I first left the prison, this dude reached out to me. He's like, hey, you need a job? I can get you a job. I'm like, yeah, dude, shoot it. Right, so he ended up like making his connections. They reached out to me. It didn't end up falling through. Right, I got kind of hooked up with something else, but Nevertheless, the dude's a good dude, right? We started around the same time frame, 2006, 2007. So he was a regular in that building. I can't remember if they had bunk beds or not. They probably did have bunk beds at that time on the day room. In the housing unit, there's two offices. The one's for the counselor, which is locked after hours, and one's the CO office. You could post up in there. Sometimes they have refrigerators. Sometimes they have microwaves. Sometimes they have a little igloo ice chest. If not, you just pass shit up to the control booth to cook your food in the microwave. So, hey, we're both Cowboys fans, right? We're both Cowboy fans. And he's like, hey, just chill. I got this. I'm like, well, fuck, I planned on chilling anyways, my boy, but I'm definitely going to chill now. So I fucking sit down, right? He opens the door and he's like, this building runs itself. I'm like, well, fuck, if building runs itself, it runs itself. I ain't tripping. That's the thing about COs, man. Or if you just don't want to do shit, you don't really have to do shit. Maybe not with the body cameras. You got to kind of be looking like you're working. But you could post up, right? When violence hits, when shit hits a fan, then you act. But other than that, you're straight posted, or you were straight posted. He opens the door. He like says a couple words to like the porter, the inmate porter. One of the porter goes up to the cell, comes down with a box, little clear TV. I'm like, the hell, right? What the fuck is going on around here? Motherfucker puts it on the desk, right? I'm like, that motherfucker, he goes to another cell, go gets an antenna, big ass flat antenna, the ones you be seeing at Best Buy. You plug into like the little coax cable. Start setting that shit up in my head. I'm like, God damn, motherfucker wasn't kidding. What the hell is he doing over here? Motherfucker, I gotta pat you down right now. So, like, I wasn't really tripping, right? I'm like, well, fuck, we're about to watch this game for sure. But God damn, homie, you're borrowing TVs, antennas. What the fuck they asking for in return, right? But it was cool. It was cool, man. They just wanted to pacify us, right? Like, all right, good looking out. All right, cool. Well, they didn't do a fist bump. I just did this because I'm used to saying, all right, good looking out. They fucking go, right? My feet are up on the fucking desk. We're watching the Cowboys game. Lights are off. I'm like, look, it's hot as hell outside, probably like 117, 120, but we got the AC in there. We're posted. Yeah, the inmates, they were doing their fucking thing, man. Whatever it is that they were doing, they were doing. Hey, look, want to keep it real? I always keep it real. Check it out, man. No harm, no fucking foul. What do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? That we're out there cracking fucking down on crime 110%? No, that's not the truth. Even more so now with the push from administration and policies and laws. The days of fighting crime are over, but we were kind of getting a head start on that. I mean, the inmates gotta live there. We gotta work there 8 hours, 16 hours. Anyways, needless to say, we stayed posted watching the fucking Cowboys game. I'm like, bro, I'm a fucking swap. I was there on a swap. I'm a swap over here every fucking Sunday, bro. We had sunflower season. Like, yeah, do it, homie. Like, yeah. I swapped there for quite a few times, man. That shit was cool. It was a good gig. Now, this one happened on Charlie Yard, level 4 GP killer, Centinela State Prison. Newer cop, right? These are kind of all newer cops from 1 year to 7 years time frame. You're still new. Yes, pescaditos. After 7 years, you're still new. Don't even put one hash stripe. One French fry means you have 3 years. You motherfuckers be walking around with one French fry. Hell no. Luckily, my dad told me, hey, don't put any on until you have 3, which is 9 years. I'm like, all right, cool. They had level 4s had minimal program back then. They didn't have night yard. They didn't have day room, or like I can't remember if it was night day room or they didn't have day room at all. They had minimal fucking program, and like these Mexicans or like Native Americans, either or. In A section, cell like 112, 13, or 14. And they would yell they would yell, or, hey, can I get a crack? If they're yelling, can I get a crack? Then they're asking for you to open their cell door, kind of when you're not supposed to, so they can pass something or they can do what they got to do. The downfall of them, they can probably go and stab somebody. Luckily, thank God that never happened on my watch or like in my scenario. But there wasn't shit going on. It was a Super Bowl Sunday. Hey, can I get a crack? Yeah, dude, fuck it. Hey, pop 113. Tell the control booth. Pops it. Right, that level 4 yard, those doors pop. You can't manually open and close them like, you pop them, and the inmate has to like, shut the motherfucker. So he says, hey, can I pass something next door? Can I get a crack? I'm like, yeah, hey, crack fucking 13. He passes something, but then he runs down the tier and passes something else. And I'm like, oh, hell no, motherfucker. Didn't I just tell you? Right. It wasn't a big deal. It just didn't sit right with me. So I got up and I go over there and I like, hey, dude, what are you doing, man? He's like, oh, kind of dispensa or my bad. And the big ass bag of Pruno, big ass bag of Pruno, and a big ass tumbler of White Lightning. White Lightning is like the inmate manufactured liquor. Motherfucker was like moonshine. I look and I'm like, pick one. He ended up picking the White Lightning. I ended up getting the bag of Pruno, and I fucking, dispose of it or whatever. Go out through the front of the building, open it up, and throw it out. That was spirit of the law, right? Technically, they're not supposed to have any of that. It's a fucking Super Bowl. I wasn't tripping, man. I wasn't tripping. Super Bowl. Motherfuckers don't want to be bored up in that motherfucker. Let's talk about Super Bowl when I was a lieutenant at Donovan. You had this administrator. Check this out. An administrator of the day, AOD, is a manager type. So like captain and above, that oversees the entire freaking prison during non-business hours. They're on call. They're scheduled for like a whole week. So during non-business hours, the highest ranking member at the prison is a lieutenant. That's the highest the rank goes. Everybody else is off. Weekends, after 5 p.m. So as a lieutenant, you would have to call the AOD a lot. They didn't know jack shit. They don't know what they're doing. They're just like, yeah, go with it. But AODs at Donovan are grimy, right? They'll burn you. They won't make a decision and then they will burn you. So you have to document everything. I was a watch commander. This freaking lady was an administrator, but she was not a peace officer. She was a business services manager. That's the crazy thing. You can have a plant ops manager, like the plumber, before the plumber became a peace officer and associate warden. So you can have a teacher in charge of the prison, off duties, the business manager, the plumber. Think about that. How the fuck are you going to tell me how to quell a fucking hostage situation or riot or attempted murder on a CO or an inmate or a murder? These are these are decisions best left for the professionals, officers, sergeants, and lieutenants. Super Bowl Sunday. Oh my goodness, I'm surprised I even went to work, right? Especially this time in my career. Lieutenant, probably had like 14 years in the department, 15. It's kind of right before I left. I'm surprised I even went to work, let me tell you. And she sends out an email. Hey, LT, make sure you go around and call all the sergeants and tell them for the officers not to be watching the Super Bowl. Like, the fuck? Bitch must bump her goddamn head, right? Yeah, it's a distraction. You can't be less than alert. I'm like, oh, fuck no. The hell? There was a bunch of lieutenants kicking it. I'm like, nah, don't tell them. Don't even mention this shit. I said, this fucking broad is lucky, don't disrespect, is that these cops even came to work, right? Why wouldn't you just call in sick and watch the game in the luxury of your own home? But, they came to work. They did the right thing. And here's this lady saying you can't watch the game. Nah, not gonna happen. Crazy, absurd, disconnect, right? Clearly a disconnect with common sense, human decency. And with the prison, right? Everybody likes sports. I told you, even if you don't be knowing much. And needless to say, I did not go around and tell those officers that they could not watch the Super Bowl because they probably would have went home sick. Definitely the next year they wouldn't have came to work. It's just like look at the domino effect. And you're not hurting nobody, man. If you're working the building as an officer, there's 2 TVs on the side of a day room. You're not hurting nobody by standing and watching a portion of the game. Except for that one CO that was bringing in grills for the inmates. He would actually sit down on the benches with the blacks, like in between them watching the game, basketball game and shit. I'm like, oh no, that's too much, my boy. That's too much, right? And it was too much. It was bringing in contraband. Got caught after 15 years. There was that one. Yeah, as far as sports goes, man, look at those 3 little stories, and it's kind of memorable because sports are freaking huge in the prison system. Artwork. You guys be knowing these inmates be getting down with the artwork. You know, I never personally had an inmate draw me anything, but you know, because they'll be drawing the COs or the sergeants or the lieutenants or Captain B art. And they will post the art up in their office. There's the officer's office, the sergeant's office. They will do like Dallas Cowboys, like Raiders, like Chargers, 49ers. So yeah, you can see that it's pretty big deal. They would have their tattoos blasted, you know, Raiders, Green Bay Packers. You'd see all this stuff, right? So the message for today is sports, man. We're in the season of NFL and developing a rapport, not being disconnected from the lower levels. It's not always a war zone. You know what I mean? In case you guys did not know, right? The COs and the inmates were not always at each other's fucking throats. When it would crack off, yeah, but other than that, it was kind of day-to-day operations. With that, have a happy Tuesday. Keep pushing forward.